Hello everybody, this is Panking550. Welcome back to another video. This time, we're going to be talking about some tips and tricks, general tips and tricks for a lot of these new players that are coming into Monster Hunter Rise with a release on Xbox, PlayStation as well. So, without further ado, I'll go ahead and get into this video, and I hope by the end of it, you guys learn some tips. If you've learned something, like the video, subscribe. And if you have something that maybe you're a veteran, someone that's been playing this game for a long time, probably on PC and or on the original Switch, go ahead and put your comments below, help someone out. And if you know someone that's new, go ahead and share with them this video. Thank you. Starting off with number 1, village and hub quests. In Monster Hunter Rise, the game is separated into two locations in terms of content. You have the village quests, which are meant to be single player content. That means the monsters that you fight there will be scaled to fight just one person, aka you. That is found in Steelworks, when you talk to Hinua. And then if you want to play multiplayer, you go to the Gathering Hub, which I will show you in a moment. In the Gathering Hub, content is scaled for multiple players based on how many people are joining. You can have up to 4 hunters in one game, and it's fun. You can play with other people, you can play with randoms, or you can play with friends. It's also worthwhile to note that lives are shared between hunters. If you or your friends die, or you or your randoms die, you lose your team feigns. And when all feigns are done, mission over, no one wins. Number 2, we got smithing. The bread and butter of any Monster Hunter game is finding cool monsters and making cool stuff out of them. In this, the tutorials always tell you about how to craft armor and weapons, but one of the cool things that you can do is you can toggle the preview and wishlist items. You can either wishlist one at a time, or if you toggle an item by pressing Y on Xbox or D-pad, face button up, you can register all of the items to your wish list. That way, whenever you collect an item, it will tell you if you have enough to make that said part, as seen here. This is also like a side, tip number 2, tip number 3. Don't forget that you can also craft weapons and armor for your pets, both for your palicos and your palamutes. The scraps you obtain from essentially whenever you make a weapon or armor using that material, you'll get scraps for it. Or if you don't have scraps like seen here, you can trade in monster parts for said scraps. Go ahead and make sure your best buddies have some gear on them. Alright, next up, number 4 or 5, we're going to be talking about the Buddy Plaza. Now if you head over here, for the first time you'll be unlocking this, you'll see some animations and whatnot. So right here, I'm going to pause the screen for you and circle it. That is where you go to essentially go into the Buddy Dojo, or the training area. This is very important for any Monster Hunter player, as they will allow you to test your builds and test your weapons in a controlled environment. What you'll see me do is do some settings where I can basically tell the monster or tell this dummy to attack me. So this area is good for any theory crafting, testing out combos, and it's just a very invaluable tool for all hunters of any skill level. Alright, welcome back to the Buddy Plaza. Again, so in this game, there's something called a Kahoot nest. The Kahoot is just a little bird companion that you can call down. But in this area, and also in a future DLC Sunbreak, there will be these hidden things called Kahoot nests. So this one's in the Buddy Plaza in the main game. You want to climb this tree. Next to this little bird, there's a nest. Every so often after you complete missions, this nest will fill up with just random goodies. I like to do this every 3 to 5 missions/hunts. So go ahead and check this temporarily, get some free gear. And of course, this is where you get the mercenaries, which the game tells you about. Basically, you send your pets out and they gather resources for you. The Argosy or the Trader can be accessed both in the Bloody Plaza, or if you're in the Gathering Hub, go up to the top floor where the blacksmiths are, and then there's a cat power code that can access the Argosy as well as the mercenaries. But yeah, the Argosy is a place where you can basically choose some pets, tell them to find something you want. You can send them out on a mission to get those resources, and after, set amount of hunts, they'll come back and you'll realize that the inventory that they have is filled up with the item that you requested. This is good for anything. I would get this started right now. I use fire herbs, bitter bugs are pretty good, all that stuff. So go ahead and do this. Also, in the exchange for items, rare finds might have some things you might be looking for. Pale extract is pretty rare, but you can also spend those points on buying stones, which you can use by selling those stones and getting some free zenny. Well, not free zenny, but you know what I mean. Now we're going to move on to some combat tips for you hunters out there. So, the game will teach you about feline riding or riding wyverns and whatnot. But one thing they may not tell you is the direction of your inputs. If you do forward attacks, forward Y, B, top right, bottom right. If you do these different inputs with directional movements, they will do different moves, such as the back B and the forward B, which is what I mostly do. I mostly do strong attacks. One tip that you can also do is after every hit, as you see I'm doing, you can end it by pressing a dodge, the evade. This will reset basically it will do like an animation canceling and allowing you to do another attack. This is something that I always do, and I think everyone should get used to doing because it basically increases your damage output. Alright, save probably one of the best tips for last. If you learn anything or take away anything, this one is probably a good one to take away. Whenever a monster falls asleep, you'll notice because they'll stop moving and they'll just slump down and whatnot, right? Don't hit it right away. Have everyone place down barrel bombs at an ideal location. Most of the time is the head. Now, the wake up hit refers to the first damage that you do to a monster will do extra damage and wake them up. This first hit is normally, if you're following etiquette or if you want to be nice, you save it for people that can do big, powerful moves like the charge blade, hammer, and especially if you're a great sword user, this is for you. Other weapons can have their own big hits. You just gotta find out which one in your team is the strongest, or you could just not give a crap and just wail on the monster. But this is an efficient way just to get a big chunk of damage if everyone just pays attention to when the monster is weak, when they're asleep, placing barrel bombs and waiting for someone to do that first hit. Alright, that's pretty much the end of the video. I know some of these might be pretty obvious to some players, some may not, but if you felt this helpful or you think someone might benefit from this, go ahead and share this video with them. If you learned something, like and subscribe for more content. I'll try to see if I can upload more videos. And again, with the popularity and new coming players due to the release on Xbox and PlayStation, more people are getting into this great game. So stay tuned for more content, both on Monster Hunter and just general Let's Plays and gaming content. If you also made this far, thank you. And if you are still listening, go ahead and follow my new YouTube channel that I made. I think it's under Talking Panda. Essentially, it's something I want to start where I talk about games, video essays, deeper discussions about video games, stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, I'll link that in the description of this video as well. Thank you so much. Take care.